Coming soon to own on
YouTube and Twitch.
We realistically beat zombies. These zombies. Now I probably don't know all the zombies on this list, but I'll probably know majority. But yeah, I think we could, depending on the zombies. If it's World War Z zombies, fuck no. They swarm and they run at you. If they're like obviously The Walking Dead, we could beat them. I feel like The Last of Us, since we have like knowledge of how they started, like the mushrooms, yeah, we could beat it. But yeah, straight into it.
How we would beat zombies. That is what we're going to be talking about today, okay? And understand this. I've been talking about zombies for quite a bit on this channel, okay? I don't want to talk about it a whole lot in close proximity because my biggest video I've ever made on this channel was, would we survive zombies in fiction? However, I kept that very punsy. I didn't, like, go into the depths of how realistically I think we would be able to beat the volatiles from Dying Light.
What the fuck? This is a zombie?
Night Walkers or White Walkers from Game of Thrones, or even the Flood from Halo, okay?
Oh,
Because,
hell no.
frankly, I had to keep that pretty sore. However, to celebrate Dying Light 3, because at the time of this video releasing, I think the game actually came out, which is absolutely insane, by the way. I want to make this video of how realistically us, okay, all of us, humanity, would be able to beat these zombies and our chances of us being able to do it. Because I'll just say this right now. I underrate Walking Dead quite a bit. However, there are legitimately a few things that I would worry about if the Walking Dead virus were to occur.
I worry about if the Walking Dead virus was to occur would probably be like emotional attachment to people. You know, and not everybody's gonna be ready to say goodbye to their loved ones when they turn. But like that's gonna just cause a mass spread. And I feel like the people in the world, obviously they're gonna turn on each other and form like, savage groups against each other. Niggas gonna rob and kill each other and stuff.
It's not what you think, but I would legitimately kind of worry about that. And when you have something, like, I'll be real with you, the Last of Us Cordyceps virus, I'll just be real with you, I think kind of gets overrated quite a bit. I actually think the way to take care of that, we would be able to do, not quickly, but we would be able to take care of it. In this video, I'm going to be going through zombies throughout fiction, and I'm going to give you realistically how we would beat every single one of them, and the odds
Talk
of us
to me
being
now.
able to do it. This sounds entertaining. You please sort of like, comment, and subscribe. We are trying to get to 300,000 subscribers before the end of the year. It's going to be tough. It's going to be real close. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, bro. But if we do, that'll be absolutely insane, okay, bro? We have different types of videos coming out just about every single day. I think we're up to 6 uploads a week, which is absolutely insane. We're entering into a golden age of the channel. I'm absolutely hyped to be making videos for you guys, and with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. Let's go. The Walking Dead virus. Codename the Wildfire virus because it just kept on spreading. This is taking place in a universe where nobody knows what a zombie is. I'm not kidding you. That is literally the in-universe explanation for why The Walking Dead was able to absolutely decimate the entirety of the US military. And I'm just going to be honest with you, that is still cope. That is still cope, bro. At least in, like, the novel, like the World War Z, which, like, Walking Dead is heavily based off, okay? It actually gave an explanation, and part of the explanation is that they allowed the virus to take over because there was a profit incentive in place. But even then, they were able to wrap up the entirety of the zombie apocalypse in 7 years. Brother, we're on year 15, and we still have not done anything. I'm sorry,
Nothing
bro.
at all.
Okay, what are we gonna do? What are we actually gonna do? I'm sorry, Doug. Quick rule of thumb for how we're going to be dealing with the walkers, okay? Despite all the stuff that they're adding in afterwards, that there's mutations now, stop, get out of here. The walkers are fundamentally the plussy boys of all of the zombies in fiction, okay? They walk around, they squissy, they can samble around. Every once in a while, they can hit a speed walk. But other than that, bro, all you have to do to take them out is to destroy the brain. That sounds like a lot, and normally it would be a lot. But the problem is that because they aren't actually infected, they are more just like reanimated bodies because they are legitimately rotting throughout the entire series, and that's going to play into our survival strategy to take care of them. They are so squishy, it's effective
The older they get, the squishier they get.
Like, you could take them out just by wrapping your hands and proceeded to start boxing, bro. I'm not even kidding you. If a 120-pound, underfed, but like borderline anemic Carol can take care of it all by herself, I think we got this, mon ami. Okay? Understand this, how realistically this would go. People would freak out for a second and then hype it up like there's something crazy gonna happen, and then we would start making social media trends of getting walkers and just absolutely decimating them. I'm sorry, dog. If walkers were real today, Mr. Beast would have a video about how many walkers you can take out in a 1-hour period.
That would be an interesting video, though. I don't think about it. He might be onto something.
I'm not even kidding you. And you know what, bro? The inconvenience of this would be that they would make zombies lame, bro. You really thought that I was going to give credit to the wildfire virus? Are you
Fuck
being for
no.
real right now, bro? No. We are absolutely dog walking the entirety of the Walking Dead verse, okay? Again, like, the moment we found out people were being infected, okay, and then people want to bring this up, oh, well, we couldn't handle the great cough of 2020, and I'm over here like, yeah, because it was more difficult to find out who was actually infected. Brother, I'm sorry. It is so easy to find out who is a walker and who is just a normal person. The moment
super
we
easy.
scope out who the walker is, they are gone. Boom, deleted. Oh, well, everybody's infected. Brother, I'm sorry. Just make it like a standard procedure that every single person that is passing should either automatically get like excavated to a hospital, and then the moment they go, immediate termination, not just termination, incineration on top of that. But also, bro, there's other things that you can do. Just make it a comic practice that as soon as the person passes,
Head tap him.
destroy the brain.
Just
Literally,
head tap
just do that. There are so many, like, you don't have to go straight up incinerate, and it's already airborne. Everybody's already infected. It would just fundamentally change how society operates.
Exactly. It's just as soon as you die, niggas destroy your face. It's just straight like that. You don't even need to do all that extra. Yeah, I think he's right. 15 years. Obviously, they are kind of milking the show, but they definitely could have solved this way easier, or way
But
faster.
it would change how society operated and how we would deal with our fallen. That is the only thing. And brother, I'm sorry, there would be a brand new, like, there would be a whole industry around, like, trying to clarify who is infected and who isn't infected. Brother, Life Alert would come with your grandparents, but the Life Alert button, they would press that button and then pff, gone. That would be Life Alert. I'm sorry, ain't nobody taking risk with an old person. And again, here's another thing. I'm sorry, I'm still not getting caught by them. They're so slow, dude. Again,
Unless you get caught in like a swarm of like hundreds to thousands of them, like where you get like surrounded. Besides that, nah.
Carol's packing them up. This is how realistically I think it would go, okay? You would hear a headline. Boom. First infected are in Massachusetts. Within 2 weeks, this is how it's going. Hey guys, here's a new policy. If you go to a hospital and you're declared no longer with us, we're gonna have to, like, destroy your brain. But other than that, life goes on as normal. Yeah, that's brother. I'm sorry. That is literally what's going to happen, and there would be like new things done in society because people would like argue, hey, is it illegal to do stuff with like a loved one's Walking Dead like body? And what I mean by that, what I mean is, brother, 100% people are sending off the husk of their beloveds for like a game show in a Mr. Beast video. 100% people are doing that. That would be my worry of what y'all would do. That would be my worry, dog.
Nah,
Like,
Mr.
that's the
Beast
only thing
Walking
that I'm
Walking
like, yeah,
Dead
that might
videos be
actually happen in
crazy.
society. Anything other than that, absolutely. No, we're packing it up. And let's assume society as a whole collapses. Let's just assume that, okay? It's just us to fend it off. Brother, they are chronically rotting, okay?
Chronically.
They will eventually take themselves out because their bodies just won't be able to operate. It's dumb.
That would be a crazy thought to think about, like 15 years into the zombie outbreak, how many of the zombies will actually even be able to walk, and versus how many of them can even still like move for real.
They aren't infected, they're literally just reanimated. And they will eventually just deteriorate to nothing. I'm sorry, bro. Easy work, no question. The cordyceps virus from The Last of Us. Now, there's a few differences here. It's not a virus, it is a fungal infection. Now, the difference
I think he's gonna put this in easier than you think it is. But the off chance that you run into a place with spores and you breathe it in, and just like that, you're fucked, is more likely than getting bit by a walker.
in that is that in theory there wouldn't be a normal way of curing it, but I'm not even going to talk about cures in any of this. That's not really a factor, but its way of infecting that I do believe is going to be a real problem is through fungal spores. It is not just
Yep.
airborne, it is airborne, and the fungus is actively going to make the host or the thing that it's infecting more powerful than the thing that it's already infected in order to continue the spread. That's how you're going to get clickers that have like almost a shield on their head. That's how
Clickers,
you're going to
bloaters,
get
all
like
of that.
brawlers that literally are armored. That is the problem that you're going to be dealing with. Instead of like the Walking Dead like walkers, like now you're dealing with an infection that is actively trying to make their host as powerful as possible to infect the greatest amount of people. And again,
Yep.
it's going to be doing this through either bites, fungal spores, or the transfer of just about any fluid from the infected to somebody that is not infected. All those put together, this is going to be pretty difficult. However, there's a few things that are going to be brought up. Ways to deal with this. Brother, burn every single cordyceps spore that you can find, okay? In fact, you can actually use like certain
Scorch
types
that
of
shit.
fungicide. So fungicide production is going to go to an all-time high, and this is where I'm going to hit you with the black pill really quick. Brother, I'm sorry. Fungicides are rubbing their big fungicide companies are rubbing their hands for
Oh yeah,
something
niggas
like this,
coming up
bro. Oh
big
my goodness,
time.
that stuff will become more valuable in gold. We will invent basically Agent Orange for cordyceps within 3 months of finding out that this is happening. And then this is essentially what's going to be happening. Okay, since they want to hang out in relative groups, not as much as in The Walking Dead, we're going to be narrowing down where a lot of their cordyceps spores are being done, whether that's going to be in old subway stations, abandoned buildings. We're going to go in there, do Agent Orange on the cordyceps, and then take out any of the stragglers that are there. On top of that, it is not that everybody is infected. It is just that it's pretty easy to get infected when you're going inside of population centers. So essentially, this is what I think realistically the game plan would be. Okay, boom, we lose Seattle. Boom, we lose Philadelphia. Boom, we lose Lansing or Detroit. Okay. A big gov comes in and they are going to start taking small little like on the outskirts towns, and then gradually they're going to clear out an entire city. The moment they clear out an entire city, that is going to be the command center and like logistics hub for the entire country. And you want to know something about America, bro? We are basically the goats of logistical warfare, dude. I'm not even kidding. You want to go to
So unfortunately, but he's not wrong.
World War
He's
II,
not
one
wrong.
of the biggest flexes of America during World War II is that we were able to send Coca-Cola to the front lines. It actually hurt the morale of the Germans that we were facing because as they were starving, fighting in their home country, our soldiers were feasting like kings in the front lines, dog. If that is not a fuck you, Germany, I have no clue what it is, dog. Bro.
Holy shit, this
No,
is a
that
long one.
is some motivation. Quintuple the
I'm not
defense
lying.
budget right then and
Dude,
there,
that's
bro.
some different
Now,
shit.
if we're
Niggas,
dealing with the cordyceps, brother, logistically
niggas do anything to get that Coca-Cola ad pushed out. God
speaking,
damn.
we have everything that we need with our infrastructure to be able to mass produce Agent Orange for cordyceps. And you notice how I'm talking about that. Brother, I don't trust our ability to be able to make something that would be able to cure you of this infection.
Oh no,
I
you're fucked.
100% believe they'd be like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. However, we do got an NGO over here that has been able to make something that could just absolutely decimate fungus. And that's what's going to be done, okay? People are going to have a mass screening process to get into what would be these sanctuary cities, and everybody in those sanctuary cities is going to have a unique skill, whether you are a mechanic, a plumber, a doctor, or you're going to be used as a soldier to essentially clear out buildings, build out these fortified areas. And once we capture a few more population centers, and I don't mean like New York. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. I think that's going to be decimated. Places that are going to be
New York is too compact with too many buildings to actually take it over. I feel like you'll just get like it'd be too many jump scares, too many surprises to the point where niggas get like, like you turn a corner and 40 fucking clickers pop out the cut and just swarm you.
deemed too overclaimed by the cordyceps virus, I do believe are going to get gone. I do believe that 100%. If there's a place that's too far gone, that thing's getting wiped off the map and we're going to build something on top of it. And that's going to be a good old-fashioned Gulf War sock and awe tactics over here. Now, fundamentally, we're going to have to change how we're going to be dealing with some of these infected. Unlike other combatants, there is no wider strategy. They are effectively running off what is fungal instinct and what is broken humanity. But again, I'm telling you this right now. We are not making a cure. We are making Agent Orange for them. And once we take care of a certain amount of population centers, things would be able to build out. And I do believe over the course of probably 10 years, we would be able to get it done. Not 20 years. I do believe we'd be able to take this out pretty good. Society would collapse for a minute because
I don't know. I feel like it'll probably take 20 years.
so many people would get infected with the first place because it infected grain and there's not a lot of cures for it. But outside of that, we would be able to get it done. That is my prediction. I think it'll be easier than you think. I do think that.
I told you
think
it was
it'll
gonna
be
put it in that
much
tier.
easier than you think it's going to be. However, it's going to be really bad before it gets much better. The Haran virus from Dying Light. Now,
So I'm not gonna lie, we're getting into uncharted waters. I don't know what this is, but we from the peep game and lock in
there's a
though.
few separate ways that this could play out. Let's say how it plays out in the game, where there's this small place in what is essentially the Middle East that gets infected, and it's only basically in just this one place, okay? But it is a part of some valuable thing that comes from like I think it's like the GRE or the GER, and they want to send an operative to grab what is essentially their property, okay? If it's something like that,
So what I just heard is niggas want to go to the one spot where it's overran by zombies to collect their property. God damn, nigga.
I'm going to keep it real with you, dog. The U.S. is deleting Haran off the map. I'm sorry, that's something that has to be brought up. The most unrealistic part of the entirety of Dying Light is that the U.S. just didn't delete Haran effective immediately, dog. All you had to
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
do is walk up and say, hey, yo, bro, I think there's oil underneath Haran. And they're going to be like, oh, what do you mean? They're just zombies? And we're going to be perceived as the good guy. This is what we're going to do. We're going to wipe Haran off the map, and then we're
Nigga,
going
they
to
would've
do
did
some
it for
contract
less.
work, and then we're going to put, like, oil ranges right on there. Brother, everybody gets cheaper gas, and Haran is gone. Brother,
Yeah, they
no
would have
joke,
did
that's
for
literally
way
what
less.
it would be. We would just be like, hey, yo, the zombies have oil, and then the zombies are gone. That's essentially what would happen. Now, let's say it infects the United States. Let's say it gets to us. This is where the problem is going to be. Since it's not quite an airborne virus and is very, very straightforward, infected through bites and a transfer of fluids, I think that would limit the infection quite a bit. However, the rules of it gets way more powerful at night. That's going to be a part that messes.
Wait, so they get stronger at night. You can only be infected by bites, not through the air, and not through spores. Damn, that shit's scary.
Because this is what the gamble is going to be running. Do you think you would be told that, like, oh yeah, bro, not to cause a panic or anything, but you know the infected people that, like, are kind of easy to deal with, they're kind of like samblers, and they still, like, operate like normal people. I still think the zombies from Dying Light are infected and not quite like the dead. However, brother, do you think they would tell us that, oh yeah, at night they become demons? They're basically vampires, dude. They are absolutely terrifying. They will outrun your vehicle. They will break through your windows, and they are pack hunters.
Oh, hell no.
That's the gamble that we're running. They can mimic how you speak. They can outrun you. They're stronger than you. And they are specifically enhanced by the Haran virus to be a super version of you to infect as many people as.
Nigga, is this super zombies? What the fuck? Fuck you mean they're pack hunters. They get stronger at night and they act like humans. Nigga, you just described a vampire and a skinwalker combined into one. What the fuck?
It's possible. They will rip you to shreds in a second. They have been seen to have some level of resistance to ballistics, melee, and the truth is, dog, you do not have the parkour of Kyle Crane. You are getting absolutely dusted, bro. The truth is, man, you would have to do a gamble whether you would want to be in a population center where you can fortify some shelter, but there's going to be more of them and it gets exponentially more dangerous at night, or live in the countryside and hide every single time night comes.
I'd rather hide. If I had to deal with more of these versus hiding, nigga, fuck no.
But eventually, they would find out where you are at. Now, UV light is going to be the weakness here, and this is where
Oh, GG's the fuck, nigga. We up 1 billion. All I gotta do is flash a big ass light at
I
niggas.
think we would be able to figure it out. Do I think that they would tell us that the volatiles are real? Absolutely not. I don't think they would tell us that. We 100% would be airdropped like UV light bulbs. 100%. And this is another thing, bro. How I determine how we would be able to take care of a zombie apocalypse is how easy would it be to monetize the weakness of them. Like, for example, we would
Super
be able to
easy.
deal with the cordyceps virus from Last of Us because there would 100% be a company that's like, bro, we made the most powerful fungicide ever that would be able to deal with it. When we're looking at the volatiles and the Haran virus, brother, UV bulbs would become the meta, and this is how I think it would go, dog. I think the gov of any major, whether this is Europe or America, they would again try to like use small towns as a way of getting a foothold in areas. Okay, they would wall off these places, put a bunch of UV light, and then they would build these
100%.
power stations that would either be run off solar, because again, you don't really have to worry about building stuff during the day, so you can essentially do a lot of these solar farms on land, or they would be doing just pure gasoline or coal fuel. On top of that, they would be taking this power and immediately putting it into UV light, and then they would start building out these borders so we can take up more and more and more land. And then the moment, again, that we can take on a population center and use that with some UV light, we'd be able to get it done. Strategies that I think would be used, 100%, brother. They're taking an Apache helicopter, they're putting a UV spotlight on that, and they are going hunting for volatiles every single night. And I ain't gonna lie with you, lie to you, man.
So wait, does like the UV light just burn their skin or some shit?
That is one of the coolest things, bro. That needs to be a short film. Could you imagine if there was a job during the Dying Light? This is what I think should be. There's gonna be a job if the Haran or Dying Light universe were to actually happen, and it would be people that would get inside of an Apache helicopter, sign UV light at something, and then they would have another guy. Done. It would literally just be like hog hunting. That's what it would happen. You would have caves that you would have to deal with, but again, since they're vulnerable during the day, you could run an Apache helicopter with UV light to track out where these things are coming. Flash them with this UV light so they lead you back to their caves, and then in the morning plant some explosives to take out those caves, drive them into the light, and then done. Done. The moment we take care of the volatiles, it becomes exponentially easier for us. So realistically speaking, what I think would happen, I think they would take up some small towns, build up forces, take out the volatile nest as much as they can, even if it meant leveling population centers.
Oh yeah, they're 100%
and then the
nuke
moment
shit.
they were able to take care of a certain amount of volatiles, they would be able to take it. I'll be real here, dog. Mid-diff, purely because the volatiles are such a menace.
I would put them in high diff. From what I heard, it sounded like they are like unfucking beatable, damn near unbeatable without the UV light at night. Well,
and it
or
would
in
be how
general.
many of us they would take out before. But society would restructure to take them out. I think it's a mid-diff level matchup. The White Walkers from Game of Thrones. Yes, I want a supernatural. It was either the White Walkers or the Deadites from Evil Dead. And the truth is, man, I really don't know how we would take out the Deadites. Brother, we're not going to talk about
This doesn't even look like a zombie for real. This looks like some kind of like, I don't know.
them, but like, I have no clue how we're taking on that. When we're looking at the White Walkers, we're looking at a supernatural army that is fundamentally basically immune to all forms of damage outside of using Valerian steel to take them out and Dragonfire. So this is the problem that
Well, we don't have dragons and we don't have Valerian steel, so we're fucked.
we're going to run into. The moment the US Gov is able to find out how to manufacture Valerian steel, brother. Ooh!
Nigga, put that shit in bullets. We switching down every nigga on the block.
Dude, they're done. They are done. Like, the truth is, man, and like, well, could you replicate Dragonfire? You think we can't
Fuck
replicate
no.
that? This is gonna be the problem we're gonna
Nigga, I can replicate real fire, but shit, I don't know about dragon's fire.
run into, because the higher technology that we have, the White Walkers are also going to be able to use that, because it also kind of works as a hive mind ran by the Night King. If the Night King is able to absorb somebody that has the knowledge of this, they're going to be able to utilize that knowledge. Now, this is kind of unclear how much of a hive mind it is, but like when you're seeing
So it sounds like we just kill this nigga, we win the battle. Will we find a way to get some Valerian steel and replicate dragon's fire, and we just attack this nigga, kill his ass, and nigga, we won the
in
battle.
the Battle of like Winterfell, there were certain tactics that were used that would only be used by people that came from Winterfell, and they're basically like using their own tactics against their enemies. Okay, if you're dealing with an enemy that could absorb us just by taking us out, even if we fall in battle, and then raising us up, they would in theory be able to use our own weaponry against us. And this is the problem that we're going to run into. It would literally be, I don't think they're going to be able to get into like F-22 like jets. I don't think they're
I mean, but them knowing our plan wouldn't change a lot, really. Because he probably, they know their own weakness. They know their weakness to Dragonfire and Valerian Steel. That's all you know, nigga. You know we're going to attack, but shit, nigga, you can't stop it.
having an Air Force. And the truth is, man, the Air Force is the great humbler of the zombie apocalypse, dog. But I do believe they would be able to use a lot of guerrilla tactics against us that we just fundamentally would not be able to use. However, they pretty much only operate in cold areas for the most part. They can
Shit, nigga. Everybody down south, we we live in lavish. Hold on.
cross into areas that aren't so cold. Obviously, that can happen. However, there is a pretty straightforward way of where they're going to go. And the moment that
Everybody
we
up
realize
north,
where
good
they're
luck.
at with like UAV positioning, satellites, the moment we find that out, we can do a lot of strikes. And again, here's another weakness of them. They are all in a group. And let me tell you something right now, dog. If you're going to be talking shit to the U.S., okay, or frankly any world power with an air force or an arsenal, if you know what I'm talking about, and all of y'all can be viewed from a satellite, and you guys are all in a group, this is all I'm saying, bro. Boom. Deleted, absolutely vaporized, turned into past tense within 3 seconds. But that's assuming they don't adapt to those tactics and then spread out. I'm going to put it in high diff because it could get real bad because they could use their own tactics against us.
But our tactics is just their common weakness, though. I'm not gonna lie. We can very much still use that shit on them. It's not like they're gonna not have a weakness to it no more.
But fundamentally, there's a few things that we can do that would be a hard counter to them the moment we realized what they were doing. Imagine if it started in Canada and then came down here. I think we would be able to have this packed up before they got to Ontario. That's what I would say, bro. I'm going to put it in high diff, though. The Flood from Halo. Yeah,
We're
we're talking
cooked.
about the Flood again. Okay, to quote some Halo really quick, one Flood spore can take out an
Cooked.
entire planet. They can adapt to anything that they're trying to face. Not as much as like the Tyranids from Warhammer. However, they can basically adapt to whatever they're facing, even by like using technology that the enemies that are beating them. They can adapt to said technology by basically kind of like how the Tyranids do. They have like an actual hive mind mega intelligence that can outthink and out-strategize any one person on the planet. And if there's anything that it struggles against, all it has to do is absorb that person, and then it has all of the ideas that that person had to take us out. The one tactic that we would be able to use to take out the Flood would basically just be firepower on top of firepower. The only real weakness the Flood kind of has is that they can be vaporized. But here's the problem.
Nigga, we're gonna nuke ourselves in the
We
process.
don't have any firepower that is near like a plasma weapon from Halo. We don't have the
we're
ability
cooked.
to glass a planet without, causing more problems for us. Like the truth is, we can unload the entire nuclear arsenal. The problem is the damage that would cause to us would be way more than the damage that we would cause to the Flood.
We can find a way to weaponize lava. I feel like we could get we could do some damage.
Realistically, this is how I think it would go. I think the Flood is going to be able to take out a large portion of humanity, and then we're going to say, fuck it, bro, launch the nukes. It's going to hit them, and we are not going to be able to take out all of them, and they are going to use the radiated area as their home base because we won't be able to come over there, and then it's going to infect more and more and more. And the moment it infects anybody in any leadership position, we are absolutely cooked because then it can use the tactics that we were going to use against it and start, like, strategizing against those plans.
Yeah, we're
Bro,
so cooked here.
We're
I'm not gonna lie.
cooked. No. Like, we are cooked. There's literally
I'm not even like trying to copy him. But, like, we're against this shit, nigga, or you're genuinely just fucked. There's nothing. It was damn near nothing we could do.
not much we can do. Okay, like that is how I think it would. Like, there's no strats. There literally isn't. Brother, I'm sorry. The Forerunners literally had to create Halo rings to delete all life just so they could get a chance to face them again. And they didn't even bring themselves back because they didn't want to face them again. The Flood is in. We are cooked, no question. And that is how, realistically, humanity would beat these zombies throughout fiction, okay? I want to make this video to celebrate the release of Dying Light 3.
You know, that was a good video. You know, let me know how you feel down below in the comment sections about some of the zombies we was talking about throughout the video.
Why you standing all by yourself? Those shoes are made for dancing with someone else. Why don't we move on?